HarperCollins presents Oz Clarke's Story of Wine, 8,000 Years, 100 Bottles, written and read by Oz Clarke. Introduction. What should the story of wine be all about? The flavors of the wines, of course, if we know what they're like, that is. Some of the flavors are brand new, some are as old as time, some we can experience tonight, some haven't been experienced for 1,000 years, but they're all relevant to our story. From the beginning of wine time to now, flavors have come, flavors have gone, some flavors have come again, and they're all part of this story. And the bottle, the decanter, the glass, these are all part of wine's history. Well, to begin with, they didn't exist. When wine began, glass didn't exist. So the invention of glass, the improvements made in glass, both as an artistic delight and as a reliable receptacle, these are crucial to our story. The bottle, which nowadays seems so integral a part of wine, is really quite recent. Hollow glass vessels may have been crafted as long ago as 1500 BC, but bottles with necks and with corks to put in them only really became commonplace in the 17th century. They are both important to our story. Since the 17th century, the bottle, stoppered with its cork, has almost been the visual definition of wine. Along with its label, of course, but labels didn't really figure until the 1860s, since when they rapidly became the most important way to declare what was in the bottle. They also became the most effective method of advertising and marketing, and this remains so to this day. The label is as important a part of our story as the flavor of the wine is. And if the flavor, the bottle, and the label are so important, what about more rarefied matters? The myths of wine, the legends of wine, the rituals of wine, the importance of wine in religious life, in political life, in trade. All of these are exciting parts of the story, and I talk about them all. I haven't even mentioned the vineyards, and with them the magic and the mystique of foreign lands and intriguing, seductive cultures whose images inhabit the dreams of so many wine lovers, especially those living in the cold northern climes, whose minds drift longingly towards the warm south in their drab winter months. The wines from these vineyards used to come from a mere handful of countries, mostly Western European. Not anymore. At the end of the 20th century, a worldwide wine revolution was led by the so-called New World producers. Some, like California and Australia, had been growing grapes and making wine since the early 19th century. Some, like South America and South Africa, had been at it for even longer, and some, like New Zealand's South Island, were starting from scratch. But they threw themselves into this crazy activity of trying to make wines whose whole objective was to give pleasure to the wine drinker. Well, haven't wine producers always done that? No, they haven't. Sometimes because they didn't care to, but just as often because they didn't know how. The New World taught the Old World how, and then the Old World returned the compliment by slowly revealing the secrets that made their best wines the best wines in the world. These are wonderful stories, and I tell them all right up to what is happening today. And what is happening today is very challenging. Climate change is shoving aside the old certainties of centuries. Wineries are being swept away by fire. Whole wine regions are being crippled by frost and hail, drought and flood. These stories must be told, but also the stories of hope, of how climate change is
Sample complete. Ready to continue?